What's up, guys? Welcome back to Doc's Pop Reviews, talking about Cobra Kai again and the Karate Kid series and the universe that it's all wrapped up in. And I've been hearing some rumors that Cobra Kai is thinking about doing some spin offs. As far as which character they would do a spin-off or if it would just be its own thing, I have no idea. I don't know if it's like they're going to follow Miguel to college and it's its own show, or are they going to have, Mike Barnes teaching Cobra Kai somewhere and follow a similar story of Johnny and it's its own thing? I don't know. But I started thinking about, what about Cobra Kai presents Young Miyagi? And because we got to know Mr. Miyagi in his older years, and in the movies that he's in, we get to learn basically just through word of mouth about his younger years. And I started thinking, man, that'd be really cool if we got to actually watch it as a Netflix series. And so for the next couple of videos, I'm going to be talking about young Miyagi and what I would like to see season to season if they were to do this. And just full disclaimer, I am not a professional writer, but I sat down and decided, hey, you know what? This is what I would like to see if they did come out with a young Miyagi. Leave your comments down below. What would you like to see if they did do this show? And would you like to see this as a show? So here's what I would like to see. Opening scene of season 1, episode 1. Miyagi is 2 years old and he's fishing with his father. He talked about this in Karate Kid Part 2. He said, Daniel-san, 1927, this is where my father taught me how to fish. And then, same episode, we do a little bit of a time jump. And I was thinking Miyagi could be between the ages of 8 and 12. Still fairly young. We meet Miyagi's mom. She is barely referenced in the movies. She is referenced, but very, very little. Okay? We also would see a young Miyagi's dad, who I found out, I didn't know this from the movies, but I found out from Wikipedia his name was Chojun. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but for the rest of the video, I'm just going to refer to him as Miyagi's father. So we meet him as well. We also found out, Miyagi's father works for Sato's father, so this is how the two boys would be introduced and how they quickly become friends. And I was thinking, since Sato's family is the rich family of the village, and Sato and Miyagi are hanging out, I think that the other boys of the village would be jealous of this or would resent Sato. And so they would bully him, they would beat him up. Miyagi's his friend, tries to defend him, doesn't work. They both get beaten up and they're bullied on a regular basis. And then finally, Miyagi comes to his dad. Dad, I think I'm old enough to learn karate, and can you please teach me? And the dad agrees, and he's like, oh, can you also teach my friend Sato? And I think there would be a little bit of hesitancy on the dad's part there, but we do know he does agree to teach them both. I would also like to see a scene similar to Miyagi and Daniel-san with the fly catching. I would like to see Miyagi's father doing this with Sato and Miyagi. Now we know from Karate Kid Part 2 that Miyagi doesn't catch a fly until then. So for me, I would actually like to see Sato catch the fly. And here's the reason why. Through Karate Kid Part 2, we kind of see that Miyagi, it's kind of implied that Miyagi's the better fighter. He's the better man when it comes to balance in his life. Yukie prefers Miyagi over Sato, and he's just kind of got the jump on him. And I think it would be kind of neat to see Sato better at Miyagi at something. And so I'd like to see Sato actually catch the fly, and just giving a young Sato this small victory. It'd be kind of neat. And we would also, for this season, multiple episodes, we'd see the bond between Miyagi and Sato and Miyagi's father. That would really need to grow deep, because for Sato to hold on to that grudge and to feel ultimately betrayed in Karate Kid Part 2, we need to see the good side of that. We need to see the bond. We need to see the relationship grow really heavy. And we'd also, I think it would be interesting to see throughout the season Sato's dad ignoring Sato. He's rich, he's trying to make money, he's trying to provide for his family, but in doing so, he's ignoring his son. And so then that creates an even stronger bond between Sato and Miyagi's father. And so we see Sato and Miyagi and the family get close. Sato and Miyagi, throughout the season, they would get into fights with other boys in the village, but they actually start winning these fights. And we would even see Miyagi Sr. I think it would be neat to see Miyagi Sr. get into a couple of fights. Maybe some fishermen don't like that, he's working for Sato, or they don't like that he's being successful or something like that, challenged to a fight. And we see in a few episodes that he, just like Miyagi in the Karate Kid movies, he doesn't want to fight, but he does defend himself. And Miyagi Sr. does the same thing. And but I think the biggest thing that they would need to do for season 1 is show a major emotional connection with Miyagi's mom. And I think that's how the season should end, is with her death. Because I feel like Karate Kid Part 2, the whole thing about Sato being able to get his revenge is Miyagi has to come back for his father's funeral. And if his mom would have died after he left, it wouldn't have made sense, because he would have come back for her funeral too, and Sato would have challenged at that time. So I feel like Miyagi's mom has to pass away before Miyagi and Sato have their rift in their relationship. And if you remember from Karate Kid Part 2, Miyagi also asked Yukie how did his father feel, or what did he say after he left on the boat. And he doesn't ask about what did his mom say, which gives even more support to the theory that she died when Miyagi was young and still living at Tomi Village in Okinawa. So I think that's how season 1, they really need to build it up though. We need to see Miyagi's mom every single episode. And then the last episode, or the episode before the last, she gets sick. And then the last episode, she passes away. And at her funeral, I believe the whole village would be there at her funeral. This is when we are introduced to a young Yukie. Boom! Season 1 is done, setting up for season 2, where Miyagi, Sato, and Yukie will now be teenagers. But they do have to be under the age of 18, because 18 is when Miyagi leaves. So they got to be between like ages, I'm thinking 15 and 17, something like that. And that's where season 2 would pick up. And I'm going to give you my thoughts on what I think season 2 should be about. And like I said, leave some comments down below. I'm sure that there would be a lot of other fillers from professional writers. But I've been rewatching Karate Kid Part 1, 2, and 3, and the next Karate Kid, and even the Cobra Kai series, to kind of get some information about this. What do you guys think? Should they do Young Miyagi Season 1, or Cobra Kai is fine just doing that? Leave your comments down below, and if you enjoyed this video, make sure to click that like button, and if you haven't already subscribed, please do so. It'll help the channel out greatly. Thank you guys. Have a great one. Banzai!